What's up, everybody? Tom Pelissero here in Nashville shortly after the Vikings 14-3 loss to the Tennessee Titans to open up the preseason. Probably about what we expected in this game in terms of the deployment of the veteran players. Now, a bunch of guys, Kevin Williams, Jared Allen, Antoine Winfield, all sat out on defense. Cedric Griffin was already being held out as a precaution. There's a lot of time for them to evaluate guys on the defensive side of the ball. What I took away from the game was, on offense, once the Vikings narrowed it down and ran some of their base plays, took out all the volume guys have been kind of swimming to be able to pick up, you could see that there was a little bit better rhythm. I think that everybody who watched the 10 days of training camp practices down in Mankato came away saying, are the Vikings going to be able to get in sync enough to be able to execute once they get into game situations? It was a very small number of plays, 15 snaps for Donovan McNabb, and for a lot of the guys, Adrian Peterson only played a few snaps, but what you saw from McNabb was he does have a little bit of mobility left. He does have some zip on his arm. The short to intermediate throws are going to be the plays that he's going to be able to execute, it would seem, at a higher level. Now, can he still throw the ball down the field? We saw him go deep once to Bernard Berrien. Berrien didn't exactly go up and fight for the ball. He never does. That's something that obviously is going to have to come with time. What you saw was McNabb coming to the line, having enough time to go through his checks. You had a lot of shorter throws, a lot of occasional rollouts, but also just the quick hitting type of stuff to Percy Harvin in the slot. The quick outs to Jim Kleinsasser, the checkdowns to Toby Gerhart. I think that you got a little bit of an impression of what the Vikings offense is going to be about. You also saw more power runs. The first play of the game was a sweep to Adrian Peterson, which is not a play that was run a lot in the Brad Childress era when they relied heavily on inside zones. We're going to get a little bit longer look at the offense next week in Seattle, and then by that third preseason game, you're going to be seeing a lot of McNabb. But I think that this is kind of, in a nutshell, what the Vikings offense, to a large degree, is going to be about. They're going to try to limit turnovers. They're going to try to run the football. They're going to take what's given underneath the defense. You're not going to see a huge vertical element. It's very similar to what Bill Musgrave did down in Atlanta. You're going to see plenty of two tight end sets, as we did tonight. Kyle Rudolph went out in pattern from some of those two tight end sets. He was split out at least once that I noticed. I'll go back and look at the film and break it down a little bit further. But again, even though the offense was only out there for about 15 snaps, within those 15 snaps, I think you got an idea philosophically of what Leslie Frazier and Bill Musgrave want to do. Take what the defense gives, make them have to come play you at the line, and then, on occasion, go over the top. It's a base philosophy in a lot of NFL teams, but I don't think that anybody's going to think that the Vikings are going to win this year by a bunch of 60 and 70-yard passes, even though they do expect Berrien and, to another extent, Michael Jenkins to be able to provide that vertical element of the game. Back to the Twin Cities pretty soon here, and then full week of practice, and then Saturday I will be out in Seattle. Full coverage of the team at 1500ESPN.com. See you.